Note, the names in this story are pseudonyms and not real. However, the story itself is true. We hope that after presenting the story, you can write some advice or a potential solution for the person who sent it, so they might benefit from it. My name is Sarah. I'm writing my story for you and sending it. I hope you will read it for me. Perhaps people will write useful comments and help me find a solution. My name is Sarah, and I'm 21 years old. Among 5 children, I was the only girl. The others were boys. My mother passed away 5 years ago. As you know, a mother is the pillar of the home. When my mother died, I truly entered another world. The weight of the world's sorrow fell upon me. I was left alone. It reached a point where I hated everything. I hated life. My relatives also treated me very poorly, especially after my mother's death. I felt that this family of mine hated girls. They inherently disliked women. They valued boys more. Boys were considered everything, but not girls. Stranger still, I had noticed that when my brothers visited relatives' homes, or when relatives came to our house, our relatives would laugh with my brothers and were very pleasant towards them. But I don't know why they behaved that way with me. It was as if I were a heavy burden on their shoulders. It was very strange to me. No affection, no kind words. I don't know. It upset me immensely. It was a feeling that was nearly suffocating me. But I shouldn't be unjust. Truly, my father loved me very much and cherished me. One night, I was sitting alone on the balcony, thinking about my mother, thinking about the happy days when I used to sleep in her embrace. My father saw me and came over. He said, "Hey Sarah, why are you sitting alone?" I told him, "Dad, what can I hide from you? I miss Mom. I miss her laughter, her embrace, her love." At my words, my father's eyes filled with tears. He gave me a hug and said, "Come on, let's go out, get a change of scenery." I got into my father's car, and we went out. My father took me to all the places in town he knew I liked. We went for a walk, sat down somewhere, and had ice cream. Later, we went to a mall, visiting all the places I used to go with my mother. My father's actions made me very, very happy. Truly, my father had a very kind heart, a very big heart. About a month passed after this incident. Yes, it must have been a month. I received a phone call from an unknown number. A voice said, "Good evening." I answered, and he greeted me. I responded and said, "Yes, may I help you?" He said, "Sarah, how are you?" I didn't reply and asked, "Who are you? Please introduce yourself." He repeated, "Sarah, how are you doing? How is life treating you?" I said, "What concern is it of yours?" "Who are you?" The person said, "Please, Sarah, don't hang up. Let me finish what I have to say." I said, "Okay, I'll let you finish, but who are you?" He said, "I'm Andrew, your cousin." I said, "Oh, Andrew, is that you? I'm sorry, I didn't have your number, so I didn't know who it was." He said, "It's okay." I asked, "Hi, Andrew, I hope nothing is wrong? How come you thought of me? Is my uncle doing well?" He replied, Yes, don't worry. Uncle is fine, and everyone is well. But I wanted to get your opinion on a matter." I said, "Okay, go on, what matter?" My cousin said, "Honestly, I was hesitant whether to tell you this or not, but I decided to call and get your opinion on it." I said, "Andrew, okay. How many times are you going to repeat yourself? Go ahead. What is the topic you want my opinion on? Speak. Andrew was hesitant in his speech. Finally, he said, the truth is, the matter is, well, you know we grew up together. The thing is, I want to ask for your hand in marriage. Yes, yes, I want us to get married. When he said this, I couldn't help myself. I immediately hung up the phone on him. I sat down and thought, Andrew, my cousin, he really isn't a bad guy. I had feelings for him too, but I still had to hang up. What was I supposed to say? Tell him right away. Yes, Andrew, I love you too? No, that wouldn't do. How can a girl be like that? A girl has to be a bit reserved and composed. Andrew kept calling, and I didn't answer. But finally, I decided to pick up his call. I didn't want him to misunderstand my not answering as a rejection, because I didn't want to reject him either. He's a good guy, our own relative. What could be better? I picked up the phone and spoke with him. Andrew said, I'm sorry, Sarah. Really sorry if I bothered you. But please, just answer me with one word, and I'll immediately hang up afterwards. I'll never call you again. Are you willing or not? Hesitantly, I said, Andrew, why not? I agree. I agree to marry you. Honestly, it was like a dream. Suddenly, I agreed to get married. It's very strange. Sometimes, a person feels marriage is a very difficult subject, but suddenly, if God intends it, things fall into place within hours. When I said this to Andrew, he was overjoyed. He said, May God bring you happiness, just as you've brought happiness to me. Let me go tell my mother and brothers the news. Then we hung up. Honestly, I won't hide it from you. That night was one of the happiest nights of my life. And why wouldn't it be? I was very lonely, especially after my mother's death. What could be better? When a girl's mother dies, the best thing for her is to have a good husband, especially since this young man isn't a bad person. As far as I know him, and I also have feelings for him, perhaps, as the saying goes, fortune smiled upon me. Why should I deny it? I was very, very happy that night. We started talking in a semi-official way, Andrew and I. For about a month, we discussed everything under the sun. We talked constantly every night. But what I noticed, what was strange about this guy, was that there was always a sense of fear in his words. A deep sadness was apparent. Once I asked him, Andrew, are you hiding something from me? Why do I sometimes feel like there's something occupying your mind? Something you seem to be afraid of, worried about, something like that. He replied, No, there's nothing like that. Nothing's wrong, no, my dear, nothing like that exists. I said, okay, Andrew, the first night we spoke, you said you were going to tell your mother, your brothers, and your sisters, everyone. What happened? Is it possible they told you, and they rejected the idea, and they don't approve of me? Andrew said, No, there's nothing like that. I said, okay, if there's nothing like that, how come your sister, who is my own cousin, how come until now, not a message, not a phone call, nobody has contacted me? How can that be? Andrew said, No, my dear, perhaps they've been busy. Maybe they've been busy. You know how the world has changed now. Nobody interferes in anyone else's business. That's the issue. Otherwise, why wouldn't they contact you? I said, Andrew, you know, marriage and love must be based on honesty, on respect and truthfulness. We can't hide anything from each other. Andrew replied, Of course, of course, of course. We mustn't hide anything from each other. We ended our conversation like that and hung up the phone. I felt like my heart was going to burst. I knew there was something this guy had, but he wasn't telling me. I thought to myself, could it be that his mother and sisters and the rest of the family don't approve of me and don't think our marriage is a good idea? In my heart, I concluded, why not? Yes, that might be it. Otherwise, why haven't they said anything? Why haven't they come forward yet? I decided to call Andrew's sister myself, just to check in, see how she is, what she's doing, see if I could find a clue myself. I called her, and she answered. This cousin's name was Rachel. I said, Rachel, hello, how are you? How are things? What are you up to? Hey girl, why haven't you asked about us? Rachel replied, Well, I'm doing very well. Sorry, honestly, I've been very busy. I asked, What's up? Have you started working or gotten a job? She said, No, I wish that were the case. I said, Then what are you busy with? You're always on the internet. I see your Snapchats. The rest of the time you're relaxing. What keeps you so busy? She said, You, never mind me. How are you? How are things? How is my uncle? I replied, Well, everyone is fine. Your uncle is also very well. Rachel said, By the way, I know why you called, Sarah. What? You know why I called? Yes, girl. I know why you called. Since when do you inquire about me? Honestly, I felt embarrassed by this comment. I feigned ignorance. Why did I call? Maybe you misunderstood. She said, No, I haven't misunderstood anything. You called to find out about my brother Andrew, didn't you? The truth is, I had nothing left to say. I said, Well, yeah, tell me more. She said, The truth is, Sarah, I love you like my own sister. Honestly, I love you very much. So let me give you some advice. Take this advice from me. Drop this subject. Honestly, it's not suitable. I swear to you, it's not suitable. The reality is, Andrew can never marry you. That's the truth. I asked, Why? Doesn't your mother agree? Has your mother rejected me? Is that it? She replied, Approximately. Hearing this made me very disheartened. But Rachel said, Sarah dear, I hope you don't take this topic with anger. Honestly, it's for your own benefit. A beautiful girl like you, 1,000 guys would be thankful for the dust on your shoes. Be sure of that. I said, I know. It's reality, and things are destiny and fate. If God hasn't ordained it, it won't happen, and that's final. My cousin said, I have another request for you. If you could fulfill it for me, it would be great, and I would be grateful. I asked, Go ahead, what is it? She said, The truth is, I want you to stop talking to my brother. He loves you, that's true. But please, don't answer him and ignore him. Don't talk to him anymore. Because as I told you, the matter is impossible and will never work out. I said, Okay, don't worry. We hung up the phone like that. As soon as I hung up the phone, I immediately started crying. I started lamenting, complaining about my fate. What kind of luck is this I have? Why must two people who truly love each other and want to get married be prevented? I'm sure, by God, it's his mother. I just know this mother doesn't like me. She hasn't liked me from the beginning. I know she wants to bring her own sister's daughter for him. But I leave you all in God's hands. May God take revenge on you." A week passed after this. Andrew continuously contacted me, but I didn't answer. I completely ignored him and didn't reply to his calls or messages. I told myself, since this guy isn't written in my destiny, it's over. Why should I pursue something that God has decided? It's settled. My destiny is not with this guy, so it's better if it ends. When I looked at the messages Andrew had sent me, my heart would shatter into pieces. I would start crying all over again. Apparently, my luck is just this dark, but I don't want to stir up trouble within the family. I don't want that family to fall into conflict because of me. I went to my room and, crying, looked at my phone. My eyes were just fixed on the messages. Suddenly, Andrew sent another voice message. I immediately opened it and listened. In the message, Andrew was pleading. He was saying, "Please, Sarah, I love you as much as the whole world. Besides you, I don't want to marry anyone else. My situation is very bad right now. Please, just reply with a tiny word. Sarah, what's wrong with you? Why did you suddenly change? I don't understand anything. I want no one but you." Hearing Andrew's words, I burst into tears again. What should I do? What can I do now? I don't want to cause trouble within the family. His mother doesn't agree. That's it. When the mother doesn't agree, then nothing is agreed upon. That family doesn't want me. That mother doesn't want me. How can this be? I know, even if we did get married, that mother wouldn't let us live in peace. They wouldn't even let us get married in the first place. His sister's words were clear too. This thing is impossible. Crying, I threw my phone. It was late at night. I was still in my room. I couldn't fall asleep. The phone rang again. In my heart, I thought, it's Andrew again. Oh God, I can't answer you, Andrew. But out of my affection for Andrew, I got up to check the name. But I saw it was Michael, my brother, calling. Michael? Why is he calling this late at night? It seemed strange, but I quickly answered. I said, "Hi, Michael, what is it?" Michael said, "Sarah, where are you, Sarah?" I replied, "I'm upstairs, in my room." He said, "Sarah, Sarah, our home is ruined, Dad." I asked, "What? What happened? What's happened to Dad?" He said, "Dad has passed away." That night, we rushed our father to the hospital. On the way, I was crying like a madwoman. My father was the last person in this world who cherished me, looked after me, loved me, and spoke kindly to me. How could my father die? No, dear God, it can't be, especially at this time I'm going through. How could my father leave me at such a moment? We went to the hospital, and the doctor examined him. He said, "I'm sorry." I grabbed the doctor's coat, crying. I begged him, "Doctor dear, please check again. Please, for my sake, check again. Maybe he hasn't died. My father can't leave me. It's not true. My father hasn't died." After my father's death, I didn't come out of my room for 3 whole days. I only drank water a few times. I didn't eat anything either. I was close to dying, but I wasn't wrong to feel that way, because truly, my father was the last person who looked after me, worried about me, worried about my future. Now, he too was gone. From then on, this house, for me, was nothing but ruins. My brothers were each busy with their own lives. 2 of my brothers were married. The other 2 were also older than me. They worried about themselves. They were so busy with work, they couldn't pay attention to me. That house had lost all meaning for me. No mother, no father. What was I doing in this house? I had become a stranger. Finished. My life had ended. Not even 2 months had passed since my father's death when my brother, Alex, brought 2 people to the house. They were just looking around the house. I asked, "Alex, what is this?" He said, "Sister, we are selling the house." Oh, cruel brother. It hasn't even been 2 months since our father died. How could your mind turn to the house and property? How did thoughts of inheritance occupy your mind? What about me? How are we supposed to live? Why are you selling the house? After selling the house, they rented an apartment for me and one of my other brothers. Supposedly, we were to live together, but in reality, I lived alone. This brother was always going out, always at cafes and whatnot. He kept saying he was going to Europe, that he wouldn't live here. I was truly alone, a genuine loneliness. No mother left, no father. Only then did I truly understand what mother and father mean. Although, while my parents were alive, I was truly a good daughter to them. I hadn't disrespected them, but if they could return to life for just 1 minute now, I would kiss their feet every day. Now I feel it. When you fall down in life like this, and there's no one to take your hand, no one to support you, how awful it is, especially for a girl. And even more, especially for a girl who hasn't married. I was drowning in a sea of sorrow. One day, my eldest brother called me. He said, "Hi, Sarah. How are you doing with the apartment? Don't worry. We will take care of you. We'll pay your rent and cover your expenses. But there's something, Sarah. I can't hide it from you. I have to tell you." I said, "Go ahead, dear brother. What is it?" "I also want you to hide nothing from me." He said, "Well," he was very hesitant about it. He didn't dare say it. I didn't know what the issue was, but I also felt hesitant. What is this? He's my older brother, but he's ashamed to say it. I thought maybe it was related to marriage or something similar. Perhaps someone had proposed, something like that. But what I didn't expect, he said. What I didn't expect, he told me. He said, "Sarah, the truth is, you are not entitled to any inheritance." I asked, "What? I'm not entitled to inheritance?" I started to cry. I said, "Why, my brother? Am I not your sister too? Am I not someone from this family? My mother and father have died. You should be my support and refuge now that my parents are gone. How can your heart allow you to do this to me?" It was very strange to me. My crying and wailing had no effect on my brother. Very casually he said, I know, the mistake isn't yours, but the time has come, Sarah. We have to correct the mistake our father made." I asked, "What are you talking about? What mistake? What is this nonsense you're saying?" He replied, "It's not nonsense. Watch your mouth. The truth is, according to both law and religion, Sharia local law context implied here, translated broadly as law and religion, you are entitled to nothing. You get nothing from this inheritance." I was even more shocked. I said, "What do you mean? What do you mean? Go on. Pin your injustice towards me on God and law and religion. Go on. What else is left that you haven't done to me?" He said, "Girl, stop talking like that. Believe me, talking like that won't benefit you at all. Don't worry, I will still treat you like my own sister." I asked, What are you talking about? What do you mean you'll treat me like your own sister? He said. The truth is, I can't hide it from you. I'll say it. You are not our sister. What? I'm not your sister? What is this talk? He said, unfortunately, that's the truth. Mom and Dad adopted you because, I don't know, back then, what sin they committed or what happened, so that you could be the atonement for the sin they committed, like a good deed for themselves, since they also didn't have a daughter. My mother also really wanted to have a daughter. They adopted you, and you are not our real sister. Sarah, your biological parents passed away 20 years ago, unfortunately. At that time, you were only 1 year old. Your mother and father worked on my grandfather's farm. One rainy night, your mother became very ill. Your father wanted to take her to the hospital. He asked my father for the car. But because the situation was rainy, my father, honestly, didn't have the heart to give him the car. Your father had a very dilapidated, old car. Out of necessity, with this car, on this rainy night, he took to the road and had an accident on the way, and both of them lost their lives. After this incident, my father felt immense remorse. He felt that he had been the cause of this incident because he didn't give the car to your father out of love for worldly possessions. Therefore, my father and mother decided that, to cleanse themselves of that sin, they would raise you. Like their own daughter, they would raise you and take care of you. But unfortunately, I won't hide it. My father was an ignorant man, or perhaps unaware of the law. When we came to the city, he also put your name into the official registry, likely meaning birth certificate or family book, which is a legal document. He added your name there. But the truth is what I am telling you and explaining to you. Crying, I said, my brother, what's wrong with you? Are you drunk? Have you been drinking? What is this story and tale you're telling me? What is this superstitious talk? My brother said, if you don't believe me, go ask our uncle. He will tell you the truth. I said, so is that also why all the relatives look at me strangely and hate me? My brother said, you, leave that aside. But the truth is, my father had no right to do such a thing, neither legally nor according to religious law. How could such a thing be? You are not the real daughter of my father. I said, I know. You're worried about ill-gotten gains or harm. I understand you. My brother said, stop talking like that. Don't make comments about me. This is the truth. You are not entitled to inheritance. I burst into tears again and said, you are truly wicked. You were never my brother. Now I know for sure you are not my brother. It's impossible for me to have such a wicked brother. All he cares about is money. All he worries about is money. I hung up the phone on my brother, immediately ran outside. I ran outside and quickly hailed a taxi straight to my uncle's house. Yes, I told my uncle the whole story. I asked, Uncle, is what my brother discussed true? Unfortunately, my uncle said, it is true. He also recounted the story to me in the same way my brother had described it. Oh dear God, what misfortune this is. For 20 years, I lived in a house that was never my house. I was never the daughter of that house. Out of necessity, I continued my life in the apartment. But what kind of life? The life of a dead person. The life of someone deceased. This heartless brother of mine also calls me daily, saying, grant me power of attorney. Don't you worry. Just consider me your brother. I was forced to hire a lawyer. My lawyer was very good. He said, "There's no such thing," likely meaning the brother's claim is legally contestable. Under no circumstances should you grant him power of attorney. In court, I will support you. Don't worry. We will win the case, and you must receive your inheritance. This is the situation I am in now. I am in a very disturbed psychological state. I am searching for my real relatives. Perhaps I can find some family for myself. It's impossible that my mother and father were without any family. Daily, I visit the court and am in dispute with my brothers. I don't know. I don't know why I am writing down this story of mine, but I would like people to respond to it. Perhaps someone can find a new path for me. Be a guide. Write something for me that might bring peace to my heart. Thank you. Even if my story isn't worthy of being published, please read it for me and publish it. Thank you to you as well.